is in session. Your silence is commanded.
You may resume your questioning, Mr. Billings.
The third, if you please.
Mr. Billings the third.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now then, Mrs. Wade, that's you in the photo, isn't it?
Yes, that's me. Me.
And were you present when that picture was taken?
No, I was in Bermuda at the time.
Mrs. Wade, I know you're having trouble with Mr. Billings the third's cross-examination, but please just answer the question.
Yes, I was present when my picture was taken.
Thank you. Now, getting back to the accident that you and your friends witnessed, you did witness the collision, correct?
Yes.
Was there any interaction or any discussion with my client that would indicate that he was intoxicated?
Well, aside from the fact that he was slumped over in his car, apparently asleep, and not injured as far as we could tell, we were more concerned with the other girl in the other car whom we actually tried to help until the EMTs arrived, so no.
So, no interaction or discussion with him at all?
No.
And you stayed at the scene until the police arrived, is that correct?
Yes.
And then after the police left, you stayed at the scene until you left, is that right?
Would you hold me in contempt of court if I asked him if he actually passed the bar exam?
Not contempt of court, but perhaps unwelcome humor.
I'm told I have a penchant for sarcasm. Yes, I stayed at the scene until I left.
Thank you. No further questions.
All right, let's take a 20-minute break, and unless there are any further questions of Mrs. Wade, you may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor, and I do apologize for my lack of restraint.
No apologies necessary.
You were great. You look great. You look ravishing.
Thank you.
I hope you don't hold my merciless cross-examination against me.
Not at all. That's your job. You're a natural.
I would, however, like you to hold something else against me.
Oh? You have a certain way with words.
And I would love to meet you somewhere other than a courtroom.
Well, that's usually where you can find me.
What? Where?
Somewhere other than a courtroom. Have you met my husband?
Oh, no.
This is Attorney Billings III for the defendant.
Yes, I saw.
Pleased to meet you. I didn't catch your name.
Robert Wade.
The Robert Wade?
Well, one of them, certainly.
The $100 million Robert Wade?
If you want to put it that way, yes, but well, despite my poor health, there's more to me than just $100 million.
If you ever need any legal work done, I'm your man.
Well, thank you, but we retained Sternwood and Marlowe for all of our work.
Keep me in mind, though. Here's my card.
So, thank you. It's very colorful.
Eye-catching, isn't it?
It is that.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I must go and prepare for my next lying witness. Not that you were lying, Mrs. Wade. What I meant was my next witness who might lie. What a pleasure to meet such an attractive couple.
Goodbye. This card is atrocious. Wilson Billings III, expert legal representation for all matters, big or small. If you need legal help, you need me.
He reminds me of P.T. Barnum, and this card is like a billboard for a traveling freak show.
Yes, we'll be certain to call if we need any legal work.
You know me. I like to meet odd people.
Oh, another project?
I'd like to hire him to do some work for us.
Oh, seriously?
Something inconsequential. It might be entertaining.
Oh, seriously, honey?
Well, we could choose or make up some unimportant legal matter. Don't you think it would be fun?
Oh, no, not really. You know I don't suffer fools as lightly as you do, but You do seem to enjoy it, and you have more energy than I can ever keep up with.
And it wouldn't need to cost much, nothing more than the Bermuda trip you just had to cancel.
Go ahead. You know, I don't mind your little games, but there's one in particular, though. Do you just mean to ask him over and then to quietly dispose of them?
Perhaps.
Well, make something up and contact him.
I'll think of something simple. Something that isn't rocket science or brain surgery or even effective cross-examination.
Yes, and you keep that card. I'm afraid if I was to put it in my pocket, it would spontaneously combust.
Thank you, dear. Would you like to stop at a restaurant on our way home and get a bite to eat? Maybe one of your favorite places?
I'm afraid we should just go home. I'm awfully tired. I almost fell asleep while I was waiting for them to call you as a witness and even faded in and out after that.
So did I.
The legal system, it can be exceedingly tedious and tiresome. Do you have any partners or junior associates in your firm, Mr. Billings?
No, I'm a solo practitioner.
Can't say I'm surprised.
And that reminds me of a joke. Have you heard the one about the junior associate and the senior partner?
I wish I could say I had.
The junior associate was invited to a party at the senior partner's home. The associate wandered awestruck throughout the house, gazing at all the original artworks by Picasso, Matisse, and others. The associate stood gazing at one of the Picassos, and as he did so, the senior partner came up, put his arm around the associate's shoulder, and said, "Yes, if you work long and hard, day in, day out, 6, 7 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day, I can buy another one."
Oh, thank you for that levity.
And by the way, what was the outcome of that trial?
Oh, my client lost.
Your client lost, not you.
Well, if he only followed my advice and reworded his testimony a little.
Why, isn't that fraud?
That's zealous advocacy. It's what all the good lawyers do. It's what I'll do for you if you ever need it.
I see from your website that you mainly do criminal defense. That doesn't pay very well, does it?
Oh, well, I only take clients with resources or rich relatives.
Do you often win your trials?
No, I don't. But I always make sure I get paid. I know that you would appreciate that. Making money. Tell me, what's your secret?
My secret?
To making money.
Start by inheriting lots of it, and then make wise, conservative investments, and don't indulge in any get-rich-quick schemes.
Speaking of get-rich-quick opportunities, I just invested in a company one of my clients is starting. They discovered gold in Tasmania.
No thank you. I wish you the best of luck with it, but I'll stick with one of my get-rich-slow schemes like ExxonMobil.
But if you could only see the possibilities, could I show you the prospectus sometime?
No, let's talk about the reason we asked you to come here today, and
Well, after seeing your performance in court the other day, we decided to ask you to handle a small eviction matter for us. Have you handled one of those before?
No, I haven't, but, well, it can't be too hard. I studied landlord-tenant law in law school.
And how many years ago was that?
20 years ago.
Let's be honest, Mr. Billings III. You graduated 30 years ago, didn't you?
Yes.
Well, here are the details. Why don't you contact us once you've had a chance to digest them?
Oh, and my fee?
Do you have a standard rate?
Yes, it's $250 an hour.
It's not. I took the liberty of checking with one of your recent clients, Mr. Curry. I expect to be charged the same.
You know, your grip on honesty seems to be a little weak. That's not something we'll need to be worrying about, is it?
Absolutely not.
I'll expect a detailed bill with no more padding than a seat in the bleachers. But we'll pay it.
I'm gonna let Ann handle this from now on.
Dear, I'll see Mr. Billings III. Out.
Do you still think my thighs are worth commenting on in court?
Absolutely. Even more out of court.
Then when you're ready with this, you can make an appointment just to see me this time.
Oh.
The eviction case is just a pretext. I want to talk to you about a divorce.
A divorce? From your husband?
No, I feel like divorcing my 2015 Lexus.
I mean, he's rich. You're rich.
But what good is money when I'm not able to live?
Well, you're still going to end up with a lot.
I'd do anything to be free, and I always wanted to travel. And when we were first married, we took trips to Shanghai, Dubrovnik, and Rio. And then he became too ill and weak to travel much, and in the past 2 years, we haven't been outside the States.
I love travel too.
Oh, where have you been?
I always like to stay in resorts. I've been to Cancun twice. And every year I spend a couple of days in Vegas. I came back from there $5,000 richer last time.
You're a gambler?
I am.
Do you gamble only for money?
What else is there?
Would you travel with me sometime?
I'd go anywhere with you.
That's what I wanted to hear.
I think I know what you mean.
I think you know what I mean. You're putting two and two together, and I can see that's a challenge for you. Do you think you can handle a divorce?
Sure.
Have you ever done one?
No, but I'm sure I could, with proper incentive.
I have a feeling you know about as much about divorce law as I do gas chromatography.
What?
Never mind.
You know, if you divorce him, you'll get, well, perhaps half the estate. What would you get in his will?
Almost all of it, I'm sure, except a few personal bequests. He doesn't give money to charities and such, but I don't care.
Well,
Half of this is enough for me. I can't take it any longer. I'm wasting my life here.
well, I think we can do some business together. Won't you come sit with me?
No, please, not until after I'm divorced.
Why not right now? We're alone.
I want to, but aren't there rules against having intimate relations with clients?
Aren't rules meant to be broken?
But aren't there consequences when rules are broken?
Well, maybe for common people, but very seldom for lawyers.
Why is that?
Because lawyers make and enforce the rules.
Still, I don't want there to be any question of my fidelity.
Have you been entirely faithful up to now?
Mr. Billings,
The third?
I refuse to answer that question on the grounds that it might incriminate me.
Oh, so it's not a matter of principle.
Let's say it's a matter of principle and interest. You'd understand that.
Oh, yes. Interest in what you might get.
And as you know, an expert cross-examiner can tell when a witness is lying on the stand.
Speaking of cross-examination and lying, that reminds me of my favorite courtroom exchange. Question. Are you sexually active? Answer. No, I just lie there. Well, I know that wouldn't be your answer.
No, my answer would still be I refuse to answer that question on the grounds that it might incriminate me.
That reminds me of another exchange.
Could we please?
This will just take a minute. Question. Have you ever spent all night with this man in Chicago? Answer. I refuse to answer that question. Question. Have you ever spent all night with this man in New York? Answer. I refuse to answer that question. Question. Have you ever spent all night with this man in Miami? Answer. No.
Thank you. You have quite a way with lawyer stories, but let's keep things sexually inactive for now. Once I'm divorced, you and I can live the high life. You can take me all the places and do all the things Robert can't.
Would you consider marrying again?
Well, I'd be rich, wouldn't I?
Well, yes, but that's not the point.
Oh, maybe someday.
I don't like someday. Why not right now?
No.
Oh, come on. It'll feel good.
Do you understand the word no?
Well, not when you invited me here and we're this close.
No. I will cancel the contract and it will be the last you see of either of us.
Okay. We'll put off the inevitable. But it's just for a little while, and the sooner the better.
How long would a divorce take?
Would he agree to an amicable settlement?
Probably not.
Oh, contested divorces can take a long time. Have you thought of waiting until...
Until what?
Well, you know, he isn't well.
What are you saying?
You don't suppose he could,
Yes?
you know, pass away?
Are you suggesting a little help?
Oh, people die all the time.
And people go to jail for murder.
Not everyone does.
Most of your clients do.
Well, yes, well, that's the nature of criminal defense. Most clients are guilty and most are convicted.
Have you handled murder cases before?
Yes, by guns, by knives, by strangulation and poison.
And all those people went to jail, didn't they?
Mostly.
Does anyone ever get away with it?
Maybe on a lesser charge in a plea deal, but basically, no. I've only heard of one case, and it was poison. Did you know there's one poison that can't be detected in the human body afterward?
I don't think I want to hear anymore.
It's actually a quite surprising substance.
That's enough! I do not want to talk about this. That was not my idea. But did I hear you right? Are you saying that's something you would do for me?
Me? I was thinking you. Me? I would need some earnest, some assurance.
You mean like a retainer?
No, I mean like you right now. I can't wait.
No, Mr. Billings!
Third.
You seem to have the ethics of a politician and the morals of a rabbit. If we can't just talk about a divorce, then I really must ask you to leave.
But think about it. You have so much of your life to live, and I can't wait to share it with.
Goodbye. I'll set up an appointment for you to meet with us on Thursday. Although, my curiosity is piqued. What is the undetectable poison?
CO2, carbon dioxide. If you could put a person in an enclosed space, say this room, and fill it with carbon dioxide, say from dry ice, the person would die of oxygen deprivation. And then afterward, it would all dissipate.
Goodbye.
Well, that should just about do it.
Congratulations.
Well, one eviction isn't that much to celebrate.
Well, I see you have champagne and glasses.
We do appreciate the work you've done for us.
Oh, and I certainly must say that I'm elated. Can you imagine how much my stock will rise and my fees now that you've been my client?
Well, I do agree that we should take every opportunity to celebrate. Mr. Billings III, would you pour the champagne?
Oh, sure.
There are 3 champagne flutes right there on the tray. The one with the Princeton logo on it is Robert's from his college days.
Oh.
Here's to...
To successful legal affairs. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That's good champagne. Bottoms up, I always say. Do you mind if I pour myself another?
Go right ahead.
And here's to successful affairs of any kind. Oh, do you mind? And here's to what I hope will be the start of a long relationship. Have you reviewed your will recently? You might want to consider making a change or two. For instance, to one of your relatives, a change of bequest, such as, to my nephew, I leave all the money he owes me.
I don't think so.
Thank you, Mr. Billings.
The third. Yeah, that reminds me of a lawyer joke. You'll love this one. In a rape trial, the victim was asked what the assailant said to her. She said that she'd be too embarrassed to say the words, so the judge told her she could write it down. Well, her note was passed to the jury, and when juror number 11, a woman, passed it to juror number 12, a man who had been dozing, well, he looked at the note, startled, and stuffed it in his pocket. Yeah, the judge asked him to pass in the note, and he said, "I'm sorry, Your Honor, I can't do that. It's too personal."
Mr. Billings,
The third.
rape is not a laughing matter. That joke was inappropriate, insensitive, and offensive.
Well, certainly nobody here should have reason to be offended.
Well, you never know. I think my husband would like some rest.
I get another one. A businessman had involved in a lawsuit that had dragged on for years. Oh. Well, one day his attorney came to him and he says, "Frankly, I am getting all tired of this litigation. I think we should settle the case." His attorney said, "Nonsense! I intend to fight this case down to your last nickel."
Oh, I appreciate your story greatly, Mr. Billings, but you seem to think that you're at the bar or at a bar with your colleagues. I'm afraid your choice of topic seems to indicate your judgment may be impaired.
What's the difference between a successful lawyer and a down-and-out hooker?
I don't care.
The difference is...
I don't care!
All right! Just one more. One of my favorites.
I think we've had enough. And you've had enough.
You got it. Here it is.
Did you hear what I
Now
said?
listen to you in a minute. First, here it is. An ancient, nearly blind woman had retained the services of the local lawyer to draft her last will and testament, for which he charged her $200. Well, the woman rose to leave and reached into her purse to pay the man, and she had accidentally handed over a third $100 bill by mistake. Immediately, the lawyer was faced with a crushing ethical question. Should he tell his partner?
Goodbye, Mr. Billings.
The third. All right. Goodbye. For now. I didn't get it.
Goodbye. Oh, I hope that's the last we see of him. And I do hope you had your fun. But I still don't know why you thought it wise to have him do any work at all for us.
I just had a feeling, however implausible, that he was the right person for this job. Thank you for humoring me, as you always do.
I love you so. I just wish I could make you happy.
I appreciate the sentiment.
You know, I'm not feeling at all well. I think I need to go and lie down.
Mrs. Wade, over the objection of the defense attorney based on attorney-client privilege, we listened to the recording you made of your consultation with Mr. Billings.
The third!
Do you have anything else to add before we take a break?
It's so hard to listen to that again, knowing now what he was thinking and planning. You murderous scum. I guess you could hear what went on. I wanted to talk to him about divorcing Robert. I confess, I wanted more of a life than he was able to give me. And then he started to come on to me. When I stopped him, lust and greed got the better of his judgment, such as it is, and he started talking about dying and murder and poison. I asked him to stop talking about such things, but he went on. That seems to be his personality. And said there's one undetectable poison. And that's when I really asked him to stop. But I don't understand why he used cyanide in Bob's champagne. The only thing I can think of is that he was too impatient. That seems to be his personality. You heard how he tried to hit on me again, so I finally asked him to leave. I had no idea he'd return with poison.
All right, let's take a break for lunch. We'll be back here at 1:30 when you can resume your testimony.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court is in recess.